Hello, welcome to Scrap Time, episode 739. My name is Christine, and on today's episode, I'm showing you the Luminarte silks. Today I'm showing you the new silks from Luminarte. It is all the loveliness of twinkling H2Os, but in an acrylic glaze. It comes in a variety of colors. Here I have some olive, Guatemalan green, ice, ginger peach, and honey amber. So I am going to start with ice, and I am showing you a resist technique using the silks. So what I have here is a tag that I'm going to be working on, and I have one of the stencils from Creative Imaginations. Creative Imaginations will be distributing the silks. And what I like to do is you open it up. When you open it, you can see it's liquidy. And I just want a little bit. I tend to put too much out on my mat and waste it. So let me see if I can try and do it a bit better. So when I'm using the silks with a template and that, what I like to do is use the ink applicators to apply the ink. So I just put a bit on my sponge like this, and then I'm just putting it on like that. Now because I am using ice, it is sort of clear. I'm going to do this again with another color so you can see it again, but I just want to show you what happens with the ice. So I am getting a beautiful sparkle. You may or may not be able to see at this point. And I'm going to remove my stencil. And so you might be able to see that there's a bit of a pattern going on there. But what I need to do is let it dry. You can dry it with the heat gun or let it dry. For now, I'm just going to put it aside while we ink up the other one so you can see it better. So because that's still wet, I'm just going to move to another portion of my stencil. And I am going to wipe up the ice and bring in, I think I'm going to bring in ginger peach. And I'm going to close up my ice so we don't have any accidents. So you can see how beautiful the glaze is. I'm just going to give it a bit of a twirl to make sure that mica powder is all mixed in. Beautiful gold. And then I'm going to just put a little bit down. See if that is enough. And I'm just going to take a different applicator here. I don't want it too much because I don't want it going through. So now that I'm using a color, you can see how it's being applied. And how quick and easy it is to apply using the applicator. You don't want to get too much or it will go under your stencil. So let's see how I did. So there you can see, now you can really see how beautiful of a rose design I have with the silk. So now I'm going to dry them so we'll be ready for the next part of this technique. So the silks are now completely dry. Because we did such a thin layer, it really doesn't take that long for them to dry. What I'm going to do now is use some of my twinkling H2Os. I've put water in there to make it nice and wet. And when we paint over it, you're going to see how the silks resist the H2Os. You can see the flowers popping up. I'm going to put a bit of water on my You can see these roses just popping right off there, resisting the H2Os. And I can get a paper towel. Rub it off a bit, just so you can see the roses a bit more. So the acrylic glaze acts as a resist whenever you put water products over top of it, or water-based mediums such as the twinkling H2Os or watercolor paints, whatever you might have. So you can see how pretty those roses. So that was with the ice. That's why I wanted to show you just the clear one, so you can see what happens there. Very pretty. So I'm going to move this aside and bring over the one I did in the ginger peach. Now these are glazed, which means they are transparent. So I'm going to take my honey amber, give it a little bit of a stir, make sure that mica is all stirred in so beautifully. And now I'm going to take another brush and I'm going to paint over it. And what you should see is that you can still see that design underneath, but the two colors will blend a bit and change a bit. So it won't be the exact same color when it's just on its own. Now if this was a regular full, like not a glaze, and acrylic paint, it would just cover it up completely. You wouldn't be able to see those flowers. So that's why I just wanted to show you how you can overlap the colors and blend them a bit, overlapping them, and you can do patterns underneath like that. So that is the honey amber on top of the ginger peach. So that's two different ways you can use the silks with your stencils, and then you can put the silks over top or use it with a water-based medium. And those are the silks by Luminarte.